Hello. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Getting started with our Prowess Live. I am here, Leah Steinkirch, COO with Prowess Project, to talk to you guys about real life stories as an OBM. Excited to talk about this today as I love sharing my story with all of you guys, and then also hearing from you what you're seeing out there, how it's feeling, and what questions you have. So to kick things off, as we always do, I'm going to throw a question in chat. And that is, I would love to know, what is one summer activity everybody is looking forward to? Are you a beach person? Do you live family together? Road trips? Ready to sit by the pool? Feel free to throw those in chat. Getting started. Okay, we'll be talking again about those real life stories as an OBM. And I'm excited to share some perspective, answers. So, okay, so I can see people those camps, getting there with the family, beach, creative project with kids. I love it. My summer activity is usually road trips. So I'm a sucker for a road trip and different adventures and finding different places. And I think this is such an important thing, that everyone has that thing that we know that kind of fills our cup, helps us recharge, push that reset button. That's what I love about summer. Okay, so kicking things off today, like I said, we're going to be talking about real world stories of OBMs and some experiences that I have had and I want to share. And I would love, as we're talking through this, throw any questions that you have in the chat. Let us know how it's resonating. If you have any further questions, if I'm talking about something that, yes, you love that, it lights you up, that's exactly the type of person you want to be working with, let me know. And if it is some maybe not, then let us know that too. Okay, as I said, my name is Leah Steinkirch. My role here at Prowess Project is sort of everything back in operations. I started as an OBM with Ashley when she was first launching Prowess. And I was able to, I'm kind of that real world example of the career progression, is that I went from OBM and now sitting in the COO seat as Prowess has grown. Today, talking about 3 different scenarios that I've experienced as an OBM. And yes, I've kind of simplified these into different categories, but what I want to do is to break this down to talk a little bit of what it looked like, that person that I was working with, what I learned about that kind of communication style and the ask that they had for their OBM, what it looked like to communicate with them, meetings and technology, what did I find most beneficial, and then what did I need to know about myself? Okay, so you might find that, like I said, some of this may resonate with you. Throw it in chat, how it's feeling. At the end, if anyone wants to know more, like you may be figuring out right off the bat, like, yes, that's the kind of person I want to work for. You may be thinking, how do I even know? How do I know who I would work best, or what my communication style would fit best with? And at the end, I'll talk a little bit about a free resource that we've created that's sort of like a gut check to figure out how, if this really is an alignment for you, for that type of client. So you'll hear me talk about alignment a lot. It's something I very much believe in, that if we know how our energy, communication style, and goals all match up, if our values are in line with this position, that's when we can fly. So first example I want to give you was the CEO, coach, consultant, whatever title you want to give them, where they know exactly what they're looking for. Their scope of work, their job description is very detailed. They're looking to hand off these tasks to another person. So they know what they want. They are very driven. They have a very good understanding probably of operations. They may be both a visionary and integrator in the role that they're sitting in. They're that kind of that mix of the two, and they're ready to get this company scaling. They may have even been into a team to say, hey, help us get to the next level. So they know what it all needs to look like, but they need someone who's going to run operations to then, so they can be out selling the business. So this is a very well-organized person. They understanding the marketing, what funnels need to happen. They know who the team is, and they're just ready to hand this off to someone. So what I've learned in a role like this is that this person, a lot of times these are that come, you are referred to them, or they come to you, maybe someone in your network who says, I think you'd be a great fit for this role that I have. And they already have a certain level of trust of your skills and your expertise. Maybe they've heard some things about you, but that trust is already there because that's why they're inviting you into this position. So you need to take that invitation you're getting and kind of match it with, yes, I'm ready for this task. So I've learned that as sooner that I embrace that authority that's being handed to me, and not wait for permission or feel like I have to check in with them for everything I think might be a good idea, the sooner that I say, hey, I'm going to lean forward into this, I free up that brain space for myself and I can help make some real impact. So they're trusting me to not only fix mistakes, but to, if I see anything that's wrong, to just fix it. And if I do have any learnings along the way, we won't call them my own mistakes, but learnings, as we all have bumps in the road, that they know I'm going to address it and move on. So meetings with them look like really hitting those KPIs and letting know all the metrics that are rolling up to that. There's probably already a pretty good understanding of those KPIs and what growth patterns they're looking for. So I'm updating them. And this might be one 30-minute meeting a week where we're hitting all the high-level points and saying, are we off and running? That's what they're looking for. So I might call this position kind of you're kind of like the cleanup batter. They need just someone to come in and do it. And typically I'm not recreating a tech stack. I'm working what they have unless I really do find something that's more efficient or going to save them money. Now, what do I need to know about myself in this role? What I need to know is that I have the bandwidth probably to meet the scheduling that they want. A lot of times I see there's already an existing team, there's already existing meetings. So I need to make sure my commitment can meet what they're asking me to do. To join in those meetings, maybe lead them, help provide some more reporting around that. I need to know that I'm comfortable leaning forward from day one to really step into this authority that they're handing me and this trust. I need to know that I'm comfortable with that and I'm up for the challenge. And then I'm also very comfortable coming to that person who said, hey, I trust you, go get this done, coming to them with things that might be difficult because they're going to want to know the down, the dirty. Let me hear it. What is it? What are we going to do? Let's fix it. Let's move on. Right. So it's not going to be a lot of hand holding. I'm going to have to be really upfront and really direct. So let me know if anyone, this is something that would light you up, having that kind of authority. You can run with it. You really feel like your boundaries are strong. You know how to help someone stay on track. And if that's what you're looking for. Okay. The next CEO type that we're going to talk about is someone who maybe is more in the 75% visionary. So they're a little more energy, a little more, big dreams. Maybe they have their business has been running for a little while just by themselves and they're ready to bring on OBM and they have a new model. So this is very common. They have a new model. Maybe they're working with a consultant who says, okay, this is how we're going to structure your business, or they're adapting a different business style and they want someone to come in, work alongside them to help really put this into place. And so I've seen this person they have a lot of energy. They're very creative in their thinking. They know enough to be dangerous about operations, but they're okay with someone saying that's not the best way to do it. So this can be a collaborative kind of relationship. But I've also seen that there's persons wanting you to just jump in and really help them stay in their lane. So a lot of times this can mean that they have a great idea. I really like to get this going. So yes, this is the direction they want to go. But the question is how to do it and how fast can we do it and what's it going to cost? And so there's a lot of research that ends up on your plate to help them get to where they want to go. So if you are the researcher, you're efficient at that, great opportunity to be using ChatGPT to help someone like this who has all these ideas and they know what it takes to grow the business. They just need more hands, but they also need someone holding them accountable to getting it done. So a lot of times your meetings are going to look like, hey, where's our time being spent? Where are we on these projects? You said this was a priority, but yet last week we spent a lot of time on this subject. So letting them know where those kind of that time studies are, where is the ROI on what you're putting out there, making sure that if you do decide to invest in a funnel series, that you're seeing it through and then continuing to measure it and improve it and not just move on to something else. So a lot of times what I call this is you're sort of the priority pro officer. You're making sure that you can help filter out the bright and shiny objects and really helping them understand what goes in the bucket of impact versus distract. So it's fun, it's exciting, you're seen as a partner, you can lean forward into this, but at the same time, you have to be very comfortable saying no, or saying this is going to distract us, or being able to quickly reflect how much that's going to get you off course, or what the benefit is of something that you're suggesting. So they're good listeners, they like the input, but you got to make sure you have their attention and can really kind of hold them to the task. So what I need to know about myself is, do I have the energy for that right now? Am I comfortable enough with that kind of relationship? Is this the kind of person I feel will be respectful when I'm saying, hey, this is a bright and shiny object, we're not going to go down that road now because of X, Y, and Z? I want to make sure that that kind of relationship is there, so I'm not feeling drained by any kind of communication style that doesn't work for me. Okay. Yes, thank you, Valerie. Yes, priority police. It can be a fun role, and it can also be, again, it has to be the right personality that's going to take your style. And I see that humor works very well in this situation. So if it's someone who has a great sense of humor and you do as well, you guys can be off and running. And I've had a lot of fun in these types of roles. But again, I'm setting the tone. I'm saying you have to show up to this meeting. I'm giving them the list. Dashboards are our friend, and I'm making sure I'm holding them accountable to that. Okay, I love these comments. Keep them coming. Okay, our third one is that this is a CEO that they have great ideas. Maybe they're getting started on something. Maybe this is their third company that they're starting. They're almost 100% visionary. They have big ideas. They have a lot of excitement, but they really don't want to get in the weeds. They do get in the weeds, and you have a secondary mess. So they want you to handle accounts payable. They want you to tell them what the timelines are going to be. They want you to go research what the marketing best strategies are. They have no problem creating the social media or the video or creating it, but you need to tell them what that's going to be. So this is someone who, again, they're big visionaries. They have a lot of ideas, but you are going to be the person who's making things happening. So in this situation, you're almost coming in as your own consultant on their business. They're looking for you to have the knowledge, the strategies, the what works well, what doesn't. You're coming in with your own toolbox of technologies. They may have a couple favorites, and we're going to listen to that and respect it. But when we know, hey, this would really keep us on track, this is going to make us move faster, they are responsive to that. And they say, great, you take care of it. Just tell me what it's going to cost. The meetings with this type of visionary, the CEO, a lot of times I see daily huddles work best because I really got to keep them on track. Think agile methodology, where you want to take something, see if it's going to work, and shift and improve it quite often, because they're going to want to know the impact of that business pretty quickly. They want to see things quick. They want to see change. That's what they're used to. So we're going to find ways to give them those quick wins. We're going to make sure the dashboards stay up to date, and we can always point that to them. If it's 2 a.m. and they have a question, hey, you put that in Slack, or whatever it is that I can point you to here. This is where you're going to find those answers, because they have a lot of ideas all times of the day, and they want to know how to get this information. So what I have to know about myself in this is that I need to have being okay having all the keys to the kingdom, right? I need to have the energy to be very confident in this position, to say, yep, I'm going to help set you up for success. I need to know that I'm very comfortable telling them no to certain things when it comes to hours. This is when my Slack is on or off. These are my boundaries. All of that's going to help this relationship be as efficient as possible. The sooner as I set the boundaries and how this is going to work and how I can best impact your business, they'll be fine with it. I just have to be okay telling them all of that, and maybe reminding them a couple of times. So scope creep can be a very big obstacle in this kind of OBM CEO relationship, because they're going to start to see all the skills that you have, and you're really good at this and you're really good at that. And hey, someone told me that the best next thing we should be doing is, getting this new software. Can you just go and set that up? And so the scope of your job will get bigger and bigger. And so you have to be okay saying, great idea, time-wise, we can get to that third quarter or whatever that is. So you have to take a look at what your comfort level is and pushing back with this person. What kind of personality do they have to receive that information? And again, this can be a lot of fun because you have a lot of, you can get a lot of things done. You can assert your own creativity into this, but there's not a lot of guidelines, boundaries, what you're going to be doing day to day, you're going to have to be setting that tone. Okay, so the 3 ones that we talked about were your CEO, consultant who's really ready to scale, very organized, they know what needs to get done, and they're just handing it off to you. The second one is sort of that person who has a new thing that they want to get started. They still like to have their hands in the operations and understand it. They're looking for you to help them stay on track and avoid the bright and shiny objects. And the third one is the person who wants to be off just creating, be out there in the world, and you are running everything behind the scenes and letting them know what you need. So yes, there will be times that these things can mix together. There will be times that one, you'll realize you started one place, and as the business progresses, it's to another. Let me know if there's one of the 3, drop it in chat. If one of these seems more exciting to you than the other, or if it's bits and pieces of each one that sound interesting to you. Some of this too comes down to the type of communicators that we are, where we're most comfortable pushing back. But I really want to stress that in each one of these situations, you are a different type of, you are a consultant, and you're going to communicate it slightly different in each one. Thank you, Valerie. All 3 sound interesting. Yes, because all of them can be exciting, but it's where are we most comfortable and where is our energy at that time in alignment with. So there have been times where I've been very excited to work with someone. Maybe it is someone that had been on my Dream 100 list, but the timing wasn't right. Where their business was and what my bandwidth was at the time wasn't right. So I had to say no to that opportunity just because I knew I couldn't serve their need the best. Their company was really growing. Maybe they needed someone who was going to take on a lot of authority and run some teams for them. And I knew right now my schedule only allows me to do one-off projects. So by me saying, not right now, that won't work for me, but I'd love to refer you to someone else or get you connected to Prowess Project, that still preserves that relationship. A lot of times I see that it does come back around, but that's what's important, is making sure that our transparency is there, it's in alignment with our own energy, and that we are helping them as much as we're helping ourselves in that relationship. So I mentioned earlier sometimes that we can get really excited in talking to people, or we start looking around, we decided our niche, but where is it that I want to spend time? What kind of CEOs or consultants do I want to attract to my offer? And that's where I talk about that gut check. So anyone can send me an email at leah@prowessproject.com, and I'll send you this free resource. And basically what that is a checklist that I use for that moment in time of where am I with my time, my energy, and my current career values. So I want something that I can really help someone grow. There have been times where I really want to take on people that are very, very creative, right? So that might be category number 3. They're very creative people. Maybe they're in the artist area and they really don't want to touch the operations. And I have all the time in the world and I have the energy to take that on. And that is very exciting to me. There's other times where I'm like, I need this to be structured. I need to know exactly what I'm doing because I don't have the energy or the time for all the research that it's going to take to help that person's business get to the next level. And again, when we're clear with that, when we're transparent, when we're letting them know I'm going to try and help you in the best way possible, we're not providing like 100% guarantee every time I'm going to take you as a client and where you want to go. We're being honest. So this is why info interviews are great. You're learning more about them. You're learning more about the style of people you want to work with. All of that you're going to take. And so when you take that gut check list, when a new opportunity comes around, or maybe it's even someone you want to pursue, you're realizing you really want to start pursuing, people in the children's book industry, right? You want to work with people that are creating their books or their brands, but you start to take the look at your time, your energy, and where you want to be invested with your career. And yes, it's in alignment or no, it's not. And then how do you shift that? So I love having those conversations. If anybody ever wants to just, chat through that or send me an email, I'm happy to send out that resource. But let me know if you have any other questions. You can put those in chat. And I will make a plug that we just launched our podcast. So we sent out an email earlier today with the links to the podcast and getting that kicked off. So if anybody needs that, you can shoot me an email as well, and I'll get that out to you. All right, guys. All right. Well, Ashley will be back joining us next week. Let me know, like I said, reach out if you'd like that free resource or if you have any other questions. We're always here to help, and we'll talk to you guys soon.